Hello, today I'm going to go over how to complete your information sheet assignment. So once you have completed your topic and research questions, you are going to begin your information sheet. You can either use a paper copy, or if you do not have access to the paper copy, you can make a copy of this sheet. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by writing down your narrow topic and thesis statement in these boxes that you already came up with. Then you're going to write your research questions in the boxes. Once you've done that, you can start researching your information. To do this, you're going to use the research strategies that you learned in the presentation with Dr. Compton. Now, you need 3 sources overall, and one needs to be a database. By database, I mean going to inspire.in.gov, like Dr. Compton showed us. When you do your research, you want to make sure you are noting where you got your information. So when you research your database, your information in a database or a website, you want to make sure you write that down. Now, if you go to a database, for example, you'll go to Explora 9 through 12, and you'll do your search. For example, I will research Sojourner Truth. And you're going to want to, read the summaries, the titles, and decide which one might work. So when you find a source that you feel like might work for your project, you'll read through it and start gathering information. Now, you want to make sure you save this source and also note where you got the information. So if you go back to your information sheet, I have an example here where you're going to see that you need to write down where you got that information. So you can write a direct quote, you can paraphrase, summarize information from your source in your own words, but you need to make a note of where you got it. Because when you do your final product, you're going to want to make sure that you are able to do your in-text citations. And you won't be able to do that if you don't know where the information came from. On this sheet, you don't need to write the full URL, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But you do need to write down either the name of the website, part of the URL, something that's going to jog your memory of where you got it. Now, for these research questions, when you're researching, you might find information from multiple sources, and that's okay. You should do that. You don't want to just focus on one source for one research question. If you get them from Inspire, make sure you note that it was a database so you know, okay, I have my database, and you remember where you got from. Now, this isn't enough to go back and find it, because later on, you guys next week are going to be doing your works cited page, and you're going to need to revisit the URL to gather the correct information. So, once you use a source, you know where you got the information from, you need to save the source some way. There's 2 ways to do this. So, from a regular website, there's a couple things you can do. You can bookmark it, and you can bookmark that website by going to your little arrow here on Safari and hitting Add Bookmark. You can add it to your favorites, type in the title, and save it. Another way is to copy and paste the URL and email it to yourself. Or you can add it to a Google Doc or a note in your iPad. But some way, somehow, you need to have a copy of that URL somewhere so you can find the website later. Do not just leave it open as a tab. Often, those get closed out, Safari could crash, and you lose it. Make sure you either bookmark it, email it to yourself, or copy the link into a Google Doc or a note. Now for the databases, that's a little different. This URL, like Dr. Compton said, will not work. So what you're going to need to do is, once you find an article you're using, you're going to hit email, type in your email here. So make sure it's your full school email, like so, with the elkhart.k12.inus. Make sure it's your email, not mine. And I also want you to click this citation format here, because this is also going to email you the citation, and that will be important for our Works Cited. So you want to change this, because we're not in Brazil, to, scroll down until you find MLA 9th edition. So right here, MLA 9th edition, select that, okay, and we have that checked, and go ahead and hit send. Oops, I must have spelled something wrong. Hold on a second. Yeah, so it looks like it's case sensitive, so be careful. Okay, but I don't know what I'm spelling wrong, but make sure you put in your correct email and it will send it to you, okay? And when you get that email, it will have the permalink and it will have the citation. That is the best way. Another way could be to also just go to the permalink button here and copy and paste it. But the email is so much easier. But if you do copy and paste the permalink and later you go to revisit for your Works Cited, this is an important step. What you're gonna have to do is create an Access Indiana account, because when you go to view your article again, it's going to come to this screen. So what you guys will do, and I've checked with the Media Center specialist at Elkhart Community Schools, and they say this is fine. You're going to click this link, don't have an Access Indiana account, and you're going to complete this with your school email. It will email you a verification code that you'll put in, and then the next step will be to add your first name, your last name. It will ask for a phone number. If you don't want to use your own phone number, just put in the school's phone. But make sure when you get to the next page, you hit no thanks for the two-step verification, okay? If you put in your own cell phone number, you can do two-step verification if you would like. But again, if you use the school's phone number, do not do the two-step verification, or you will not be able to get into your account. So that will be how you create an account if you need to access, those permalinks later, which you will when we do citations. But that's why I think it's so important that you guys just email yourselves the article with the citation, just in case it will save you a step, because we'll already have the citations in your inbox. So, just a reminder, when you guys are doing your information, you need to have at least probably 5 or 6 pieces of evidence per research question, and you need to clearly state where you got it from, okay? You do not want to come to the end and have no idea where you got these quotes or these information from, because you will not get the standard if you're not citing your information. If you run out of space, you can use notebook paper to do that. If you have any questions about the databases, you can ask your substitute, you can ask me, you can ask Dr. Compton in the library, but you guys need to be working on this diligently, as it is one of the steps towards your final exam.